Okay, so sorry for the lack of gaming related videos recently, but I don't really make many pickups anymore, and like I said, I was planning on reviewing Tomb Raider: The Last Revelation for the Dreamcast, but the Dreamcast ended up breaking, so I've had to put that off. Plus, what's also putting me off making more reviews for the moment, I'm not going to stop completely. But what's putting me off making them for the moment is a whole copyright thing with YouTube. It's been getting really bad recently, and supposedly it's going to get even worse in January. So I want to see what happens. I've watched two of the latest videos that Angry Joe has made. He's a really big YouTuber, and he's been getting a lot of his videos flagged, and a lot of companies have been claiming revenue from his videos as well. Videos which has put a lot of hard work into, videos which come under fair use, and even videos which don't even have any music in them or any gameplay footage in them at all. And some of these companies that have supposedly made claims on these videos haven't actually made the claims. It's just it's YouTube's ID system. It's all fucked up. So hopefully eventually YouTube will get it sorted out, but until then I don't really want to make any more reviews, to be honest. So I am feeling guilty about the lack of gaming related videos, because I know most of my subscribers have subscribed to me for the gaming videos. So I thought what I'd do is I'll talk about the games that I've been playing recently. I've basically been inspired by Footloose 2005 because he sometimes does this sort of video, and plus I thought it would be something fun to do and just something different. So first up is Tomb Raider: The Last Revelation for the Dreamcast. I really enjoy this game. At first I hated it. I thought it was really crap. I hated the graphics. I thought, the graphics look like PlayStation 1 graphics. And I'd be sat there thinking the Dreamcast is so much more capable than this. Why the fuck are the graphics so shit? I hated the controls. I found it very hard to control Lara. But then I got used to the controls, and I don't find it that difficult to control her anymore. And I've got used to the graphics as well. I kind of find that the graphics have a certain charm to them now, and yeah, I just really enjoy the game now. I love exploring the tombs. I love solving the puzzles. I find the game very relaxing to play. You've got some action in the game as well, like shooting bats and dogs and mummies and stuff like that. And this is basically the first and only Tomb Raider game that I've ever played, and because of this game, I'm actually planning on getting an original PlayStation 1 and getting the first and second Tomb Raider games for it. Next up is Siberia. This is a really great game. It just makes such a change playing a game like this, because it's so different from most other games. I think you'd call it a point and click adventure. There's basically no action in it. You just walk around, you solve puzzles, and you talk to people. But it just makes such a refreshing change, and I love the 2D backgrounds in the game. They look very similar to the 2D, like the art style of them is very similar to the 2D backgrounds that you get in the early Resident Evil games. And I'm basically stuck at the part where you've got to open the locks. I've just got absolutely no idea how to do that. Die Hard Vendetta, a first-person shooter. This is a first-person shooter which involves a bit of thinking as well. It's not really like your typical first-person shooter. At first I enjoyed this game quite a lot, but then I started to go off it for some reason, and I'm not really keen that each level consists of one or more loading screens, which I feel kind of breaks up the gameplay as well. And the weapons kind of sound muffled, so it's like it feels as though the weapons don't have much impact, if you know what I mean, if that makes any sense. Total Overdose. This is basically like GTA. You drive vehicles in a city, and you can walk about on foot, and you can shoot people and stuff. The vehicle physics in the game are absolutely terrible. It's like the developers had just started working on the vehicle physics and then they just abandoned it. That's how bad they are. But when you're on foot, the on-foot action, like the combat and the shooting, it's really, really good. And at first I did quite like the game, but again, I've started to go off it for some reason. I'm not really sure why. I don't. All in all, I don't really think the game is for me, and I hate the fact that the whole game map is like it's made up of these very small areas, and in between these areas are loading screens. So if you're driving through a city, quite often you'll get hit with a loading screen, which is pretty annoying. Soldier of Fortune Gold Edition, a really great first-person shooter. The graphics do look primitive, and I guess you do get hit with several loading screens throughout each level, but it's not you don't get them too often. But yeah, I just find the game really fun to play. I really like the music in the game as well, and the atmosphere and stuff. And I'm playing it on the medium difficulty, and it's pretty damn hard. 4x4 Evo 2, basically a racing game. You race 4x4s and stuff. You can basically upgrade them. You can buy new tyres for them. Different parts and stuff like that. For some reason though, I'm not enjoying playing this game as much as how much I enjoyed it when I played it the first time around. For some reason. Spider-Man. It's not actually a bad game. I'd say it's quite a good game, but I just don't really enjoy it that much. Can't really explain why it is. I just don't really think it's for me. Mercenaries Playground of Destruction. This is basically like GTA, only it takes place in the army. You can drive civilian vehicles, you can drive army vehicles like tanks and jeeps and stuff, you can fly helicopters, you can run about on foot and blow things up and shoot weapons. You can basically do whatever you want in the game. You can collect stuff, there's missions. It's pretty good. My only complaint about the game is that it looks too grey. Most of the colours are made up of different shades of like grey and drab greens and stuff like that. Demon Summoner, basically a first-person shooter. You can shoot like zombies and vampires and stuff. A lot of people say this is a really bad game, but I don't think it's too bad myself. It's kind of fun, although I have got stuck very early on in the game. It's basically the part where you've got to sneak around in a warehouse or something. You've got to avoid guards. I keep getting caught, and the frustrating thing is that every time you get caught, you get taken back to the title screen, and then you've got to load the level again. So you've got to wait through a loading screen, and then you've got to wait through a cutscene that you can't skip. So that's kind of frustrating. Time Splitters, an absolutely fantastic game. I just love it. I think this was a launch title for the PS2. It's obviously a first-person shooter, just a brilliant game. Time Splitters 2. Now I know a lot of people aren't going to like me saying this, but I think this is the weakest of the 3 Time Splitters games. I kind of find it okay, but I don't really find it that fun to play. I think the first Time Splitters is just way better than this. I mean, with this game it's like they've improved the graphics and everything and there's more to it, but for some reason I just find the original Time Splitters to be a lot more fun to play over this one. And lastly we have Time Splitters Future Perfect, which is basically Time Splitters 3. I think it's a great game. I don't like it as much as the first Time Splitters, but I do prefer it over the second Time Splitters. Really great graphics, great gameplay. These Time Splitters games, even though they're fantastic games, the graphics are great in them, the gameplay is great in them, they don't take themselves too seriously. They kind of got like they've kind of got comedy in them, and they kind of look a little bit cartoony, if you know what I mean. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Those are basically the games that I've been playing recently. Thanks for watching.